Okay, so we're going to do the first half of the Royal Rumble. So this is the pre-show up into the Women's Royal Rumble, because there's just way too much to get through. I don't want to make any mistakes. So I actually have to write notes. So if you see me look over, I'm actually reading some notes. So we begin with Gable and Rude versus one half of AOP and one half of the Revival. Last year's Akam and Dawson. So, of course, the actual tag team is going to defeat the two people thrown together for a tag team. It's also the first time seeing the dugout entranceway, so there's no giant screen behind them, which made the glorious piece look really weird because there's not a giant Bobby Roode behind them. It's to the sides. It looks really awkward. Not a bad thrown together match, but probably not something people who got there early were like, yeah, I get to see thrown together tag team match. Nakamura, Rusev. You know, solid match for really not having as much build-up. It's sad that Nakamura won the Royal Rumble last year, now he's in the pre-show. But on the bright side, he got the title back. Of course, they decided to do an injury angle with Lana, which it worked into later on. So the pre-show actually meant something for the main roster, unlike Survivor Series. Smackdown won a match. I think the official tally is it's 6-1, not 6-0. Decent match, good amount of back and forth. The crowd was hot enough for it. Nakamura. I say Nakamura, which he said once. He's a two-time U.S. champ. Maybe now they'll do something with him. Maybe they've got a bunch of, I don't know, faces that might work for a mid-card feud with Nakamura. Just saying. Buddy Murphy was successfully defended his cruiserweight title. The first time my 5-year-old daughter and my wife, two different people, actually got to watch some 205 Live stuff. They were both impressed with Buddy Murphy's knees. Especially the flying knee he hit to Kalisto off the top rope. And of course, he withstood a barrage from all four men, got almost all their moves in, which was great. This is a really good indication. Here's what 205 Live actually is. Solid match, Murphy retained, looked like an absolute stud. Great. Now we get to our main card. Asuka Lynch. Oh, okay, we're going with this, alright. I really like the fact that they showed that they know each other kind of well, but they haven't faced each other before. So you got to see a lot of the subtle reversals and trying to use different moves. You got to see Becky Lynch use the Asuka lock. You got to see Asuka use the disarmer. I like that they did a lot of, subtle joint manipulation, with Becky Lynch being a tad bit hesitant, knowing that Asuka at any point in time could put her in the Asuka lock. I will say I did love the Asuka lock while wrapped in the ropes. Thought that looked really good. And of course, Asuka didn't win with the Asuka lock. She had a modified version of cattle mutilation, which is Bryan Danielson's old finisher. So it was kind of like a sleeper hold cattle mutilation. So you see Becky Lynch's head just tweaked like this while she's upside down, with Asuka just driving it on top of her. Just looked fantastic. Lynch tapped, looked despondent. Don't worry, we're going somewhere with this. Also, to the head, Becky Lynch won, you kind of who wins the Royal Rumble. So, solid opener. The Bar versus Mizomac. Man, Sheamus and Cesaro had to do their best to make sure that Shane didn't kill himself. He goes for a top rope to outside clothesline clubbing forearm. But you see Sheamus, they show slow motion, you see Sheamus kind of just go like, it's what I do when my daughter wants to jump at me. And like, hit me with a coup de grace. I catch her, and I was like, oh, that's what I do to my daughter when she wants to do like, a diving elbow or something. I catch her body weight and then roll with it. We got to see the coast to coast stopped into a giant swing, which was already spinning him. to the point that I thought I might have had like an issue with my connection and it was just looping. But finish came with a skull-crushing finale, and Shane McMahon hitting one of the world's ugliest shooting stars. I know he's done onto a garbage can before, but it looks so horrible. New tag champs. Okay, I guess it made sense because Shane tends to win these crazy matches. But I was like, okay, that works. And now we get in the Rumble match. Now I have to go to bring my notes out in front of me. So, beginning with Lacey Evans. She got to work the crowd onto the mic. Thought that was good. Then we go to Natalya. Makes sense. You want to have a good steady hand. Natalya's being the Iron Woman for this. Good steady hand to help guide Lacey. And this is her first real time being in front of this size of a crowd. And not bad. Rough around the edges, but not bad. Then we go to Mandy Rose. And then Liv Morgan. And I'm like, wait, did we do 4 blondes in a row? It's like, man, who are we going to see next? Are we going to see Charlotte come out next? Is it going to be, you know, who? Alexa Bliss? I mean, we've got some more blondes to go. So, I thought that was a really weird start. But I did like the fact that they constantly had Natalya and the Riot Squad. So I did the continuity of that. I thought that was really good. Your surprise entrances. Xia Li, who came in and kicked everything. But she being the first Chinese superstar for the women's division, she has a lot of kicks and looks pretty good doing it. She stumbled a little bit, but I think that's more because the people she's working with probably don't fully comprehend. She's like, I'm going to kick you a lot. Okay. And she's still really new to wrestling, but she's good. She works well. Kairi Sane. Okay. Maria. Candice LeRae. Casey Catanzaro, who didn't look too bad. You could tell that she was still kind of trying to get things to mesh quite well, but she got some nice looking moves. Io Shirai, Rhea Ripley. Those are surprise entrances. Things that worked well. I liked seeing Lacey Evans battling Charlotte. I liked seeing Charlotte and Kairi Sane with their chop fest. Charlotte and Io Shirai. I would have liked to have seen Charlotte and Rhea Ripley, but I thought that was good. Zelina Vega came down as Vega from Street Fighter. She then decided to hide under the ring. Nice callback to Evolution. Okay. Then Hornswoggle appeared and chased her into the ring and she was eliminated. With Rhea Ripley kind of going, wait, huh? And then she kind of just went, you know, I don't care. I'm going to beat people up. I did like seeing Rhea Ripley and Ruby Riott kind of working together. And I really enjoyed Ruby Riott came down because the other two had been eliminated. The Riot Squad began pulling them out and beating them down. I liked that. I thought that worked really well. When Alexa Bliss's music hit, that crowd popped. Easily the biggest pop up into that point, at least it sounded like it, for entrance music. And you can tell she's put in time in the performance center. She now does her double knee moonsault. Actually connects with the knees and it looks really good. You can tell she's put in some time. Lasted very, very long. So we get towards the end and now we've got Lana coming down. But she's hurt because she fell off the apron, which is what led to Rusev losing to Nakamura. So she's walking down the ramp. Or from the dugout, I should say. She can't get into the ring because her ankle, her leg hurts so much. She's like step hobble. Nia Jax, the next person, looks at her kind of like, I'm kicking in the ankle, kicking the leg. I'm gonna get some heat. Okay. Carmella comes down as number 30. I'm like, all right, well, we've got everyone in the ring. This is it. Lana has not gotten into the ring yet. Becky Lynch comes down. She goes, I want her spot. I think it was Finlay who goes, all right, go do it. Because, you know, Ireland. She gets in. Crowd goes nuts. Coming down to our final 4. Nia, Bayley, Charlotte, Lynch. Bayley gets eliminated. Well, Lynch gets knocked to the outside, but not over the top. Not over the top. Which then leads to Charlotte and Nia wailing on each other. Charlotte tries to do her best to actually carry Nia to the ropes, And no, Nia's just way too big and way too awkward to try to carry. Get her up on the top, get her up on the rope, hanging over. Lynch helps Charlotte eliminate Nia Jax. Cool. Lynch trying to get into the ring, Nia Jax attacks her and injures Lynch's knee. Good job making it seem like, oh man, she's not going to be able to go. She's not going to be able to go. That was her Stone Cold WrestleMania, like, bloody face Austin moment. One-legged woman, which I thought was ironic because she got into the ring because another one-legged woman could not compete in the match. Great back and forth, crowd going nuts. A lot of times like, Charlotte's going to win. Charlotte's going to win. Charlotte's going to win. Charlotte loses. Lynch wins. And I was like, man. This is like your middle part of the night. You're going to have to really absolutely kill it for the women's. Oh! I entirely skipped a match. This is why I wanted to do two. So before the women's Royal Rumble match, you did have Banks versus Rousey. It's easy to go from a Lynch match to the whatever that tag team was to the continuous of the Lynch storyline. Rousey and Banks put on a really solid match. I liked the constant use again of submissions and of trying to work different body parts and watching Sasha Banks be like, I got you in an armbar. I'm twisting your wrist and like tear your fingers off too. I liked it. She channeled a little bit like a Pete Dunne. Which, I'll be honest, I'm almost wishing that Becky Lynch, she goes for an armbar. But I think her armbar, I think she's focused so much on here. But if she were just like, do something with the wrist too, I think there's that little subtle pieces here and there that could adds a whole new dimension to the submission game. Great back and forth, really crisp match. The difference between like Asuka and Lynch, you could tell there was that hesitation of I don't make a mistake. Where with Banks and Rousey, they were like, I'm going to destroy you. I'm going to destroy you first. And it was a constant clash back and forth. Good amount of reversals. I like that you got to see Banks use more of her experience in the match against, a vastly superior physical specimen in Rousey. And then I think part of Lynch's costume, Banks' costume kind of got twisted up onto Rousey because you go over the bank statement, and then there's occasionally like part of Banks' arm cure is like stuck in around his face, so they decided to work it into the match, like get it in her mouth, like she's like almost like a guard wire in her mouth. It looked really intense. It's like, oh good, this is we hate each other, and it built more into that, which is good. And it's made the Piper's Pit, which is her variation. I know it's a judo throw, but it's her Samoa drop sort of move. She actually pinned her. That's the first time she actually pinned somebody. Normally it's been by submission. So it was weird seeing that Banks, who was the match right before the Royal Rumble, did not then get into the match. But I guess she was probably too injured to progress and going forward. I do like the fact they teased a 4 horsemen spot again, which is good. I do think that if Rousey, she's mentioned she might want to, that she wants to have in case she doesn't know when, that we shouldn't talk about it. If she does drop the belt to Lynch at WrestleMania, and then take time off to just heal up, get her mind straight or whatever, and if they use she lost a big match, she goes into hiding, comes back later. She wants time with her family. It all makes sense. The storyline just makes it really easy. Like where they're going with it. I think that if she decides to leave, this is going to be your big feud, probably maybe around WrestleMania. I could see them planting the seeds at, like SummerSlam, Survivor Series, Royal Rumble, and then maybe coming to a full head at WrestleMania next year. So that is the first half. So I guess now we've got the 2 men's matches and then the men's Royal Rumble.